So far, we've got LNG with the first pick on the red side. I do believe, I'm going to check my notes, but I think that NIP got pick, and they, or no, LNG took first pick. So LNG selected first pick, NIP took blue, and it is Jace first pick, which I gotta say, I haven't been the highest on Jace. I know that he's technically a triple or a quadriflex right now. I still think him being taken this early, you can take a lot of stuff that can shut him down or get on top of him. As Cassio, not one of those picks. However, Neferi, definitely a very high priority champion that Guwon gets his hands on here early.
We actually saw this matchup just last night as well in Group Nirvana, which is hilarious. But just being able to see the kind of poke-oriented side for Jace, where you're doing a ton of damage, but you really need to be on your P's and Q's to be able to hit those. And you have the Neferi, who has that consistent reset ability in the fights. Right now, we're getting the Lucian Milio combo locked in for LNG.
I think you got to grab Nautilus here. If not, it's going to get banned out. Fengyue definitely comfortable on that. That said, Yorick taken. Yorick and the Jace, really positive matchup. This was being played before Yorick was even meta years back. However, with the flexibility of Jace, we'll see if Nya can take this in the mid lane himself. I don't think it's the strongest matchup in the Cassiopeia, but they technically could triple flex this on the top side.
I think it could be a Cass bot lane too, maybe. We'll see. We've been seeing that a little bit more recently.
I mean, look, Sheer does not have a single game of Jace in his hands this year.
I think it's jungle Jace. I'm going to guess it's jungle Jace.
That's not exactly a champion I'd associate with WeiWei, but again, I'd be a bit surprised they end up putting
gone, bro. He's like Rocky.
It's true. He's been gone.
He's been training the Jace. That's what he's been doing.
But
we're in the second phase now. Yeah, for sure. We got the Jarvan ban, so they do think that the Jace is going to be in lane.
Yeah, I'd be surprised they put this against the Yorick again. I feel like Yorick Neferi is a combo that can really pressure the Jace in the top side. As that Nautilus that I was asking for on 3 gets immediately taken away by LNG. Makes sense against Lucian Milio, of course. So deprioritized in the bot lane. Do have to say as well, as we're talking about flexes, have not mentioned the fact that Cassio can go bot. Feel like fans at home kind of expect that now. So this not necessarily in the hands of Care. Still some flexibility for an IP who do have that access to that last pick.
I said that earlier. get you a caster that listens to you, please. No, I'm just joking. We do get the Poppy ban though. I like the Poppy ban. I think holding it off till later as well would be nice. Maybe in the later part of the best of 3, because I do expect this series to go to 3. I don't have extreme confidence in either of them to really lock down this series, and we'll see if that ends up coming out as Caitlyn, the final ban by LNG. So they think the Cassio is also going into lane.
Potentially could just be asking to not face a Caitlyn too. Okay, it's going to be Xayah coming out here early on. Gotta say, very vulnerable to the poke of Jace and Lucian coming, at least. But potentially setting up for a Xayah Rakan lane. I don't love Rakan in the Milio either. Feel like access to your ult plus the Super Mega Fire Kick actually gives Rakan a bit of a hard time. And Syndra would give all the above a bit of a hard time if that's locked in. Because now Cassio's mid to get the counter matchup in the Syndra. I really feel like holding the line for Jace, Lucian, Milio matters a lot here. Syndra is very good at that.
Don't do it, WeiWei. Don't do it. Don't do it. Just play something normal. Play something normal. I really, really like the composition from NIP so far. I think they've gotten some of the most powerful. The Xayah a little bit not as popular as the other pieces, but really been appreciating what the Neferi brings to the current meta, the Yorick as well. We do get the Pantheon locked in for WeiWei.
I'm with you in the fact that I enjoy NIP's comp. I feel like the Cassio, the Yorick are really beefy and going to be a little bit difficult for LNG to get through. The ability for WeiWei to be first on plays in the map when he presses R, I think can be quite nice, but I'm really scared for Jace in the top side. I think that when you go into something like Yorick Neferi, that's a really overwhelming duo that you have to face. You're facing a lane counter, and Neferi can get on top of you very easily. Gonna have to be on point hammer swings from Sheer to get out, and I think that can be really difficult. So I think game plan early on for LNG, at least grouped up, it's going to be about scatter and for Nya. If Scatter's up, the ability for Scatter to stymie what LNG wants to do is very real. And I think they're going to need multiple Scatters in fights to be successful, just given how tanky the Orc and the Cassio is going to get. Meanwhile, for the flip side, I think that York and Casio, if they get big, can side lane really effectively, and we'll see if WeiWei can shut that down to the Pantheon later on.
It's a crazy matchup to have the other side of Group Nirvana just the day after we saw the expected favorites, IG, WeiWei, but these two teams have everything laid in front of them. They have 6 series ahead to make it into top 2, to make it into the play-ins where they say goodbye to their season and to 2026. You know LNG have retooled in some regards. NIP have retooled in some regards. LNG didn't make it to Group Ascend last split when they were expected to. NIP got knocked down to Group Nirvana when they weren't expected to. Now all those expectations be damned because Season 3 of the year is starting for LPL and for these teams. At Shenzhen home arena for NIP, is it going to make the difference? Game 1 starting now. So good to be back. So good. You can tell, the crowd isn't as full as it was yesterday for the Shy's
Game 1
entrance, but still got some good gyos there.
It's early over there in the arena. I think that they're going to be packing in as the day moves on. Of course, homestands, kind of a fun addition. Mazel, I don't know if you have any extra info on that. I think you're going to be more educated than me, but it feels like LPL moving around every week, kind of having a homestand at every arena where all the teams come. It's quite fun, actually, for everyone involved.
I think it's awesome. I know we were talking about it in the preseason podcast with Alk and Jay Beto, but it's cool that, like, if you're a fan of the LPL, you don't have to wonder if this team is playing in this city this week. If you want to go see multiple teams in the LPL, if you have a bunch of favorites, if you have some players you want to go see from other teams, like, you can buy tickets and know that that team is going to be at that arena that entire week. Oh. I think that stuff is really cool.
Hold on.
Very unique as early level 2 potentially.
Early level 3 camp gank from Guwon. Here we go, maybe.
We said that he was the reason why NIP get ahead usually in the early part of the game. He unfortunately does not handle the dive as well as possible. Didn't have the team function there as well, and looks like 1xN and YCX will be just fine.
Nice attempt there by 1xN to try and stop the base. Not going to happen. WeiWei is pathing down, so not going to be able to get any of the camps away from Guwon to punish. I think Guwon, just given that he has the longsword, will be a bit behind taking that first grab, but not going to fall behind overall. So while the gank isn't successful, does relieve some pressure against what is a bit of a difficult lane for Photic and Fengyue, as Lucian Milio are going to win this lane in isolation. So do think that help needs to come from the team of NIP to try and flip this matchup.
Yeah, we're just getting fights all over the place. We see Sheer taking a little bit of a tussle against Hoya there. But do appreciate some of the influence we're already getting from the junglers, because, again, we said it from the beginning, that's going to be the major ticket to keep watching here. But it looks like it will be the split of the Scuttle Crabs, at least for now, between the two. Obviously, WeiWei going to be getting his completed way faster and be able to get that reset going on the Pantheon.
It's actually a world here where I think if Guwon had information where WeiWei started, could have been able to actually sneak in and maybe look at the Raptors. And actually going to drop his blue to hit the respawn camps early on. So Guwon will be down that major buff. I think it's okay. The recycling out your camps matters a little bit more than taking the buff. But
look where WeiWei is going, though.
Yeah, just the cost that he has to pay to try and take that first gank. Is WeiWei going to skip over his Krug's going immediately mid, catch Karen Award, maybe?
That was so close. The scatter comes through. The CC chain. Karen should be fine. He does lose a huge chunk of his health, but that will be a faded ward that he will have to come back for. Oh, 1xN now. Oh my god, the blade collar is just ripping through him here, and Guwon has returned for seconds. He wants more meals, and he wants more feed, as that will be the dog chowing down. 2 kills to NIP.
I'll say WeiWei showing mid does really enable Guwon to skip over the Krugs and get back bot, but caught them off guard with the timer, and Photic cashing in on that exhaust. We've seen more marksmen taking the summoner spell, especially in Lucian games or matchups, just versus Lucian or Ezreal. A lot of value for exhaust to try and get away from that all-in damage, and Photic using it to great use there, helped him connect with the rip on the E against 1xN. That kill's big, because not only does that get them the lead, of course, just in golden experience, but also really going to feel that in the inventory, as he got a BF sword first base. That's massive for Photic and NIP.
And I gotta say, when you don't have exhaust on your side, exhaust feels omega OP. And that's what that felt like right there. A little bit of an overzealous dash forward from 1xN, immediately punished. And now I want to say the one thing I was going to talk about for LNG in the early game with this 2v2 that can be so strong now is at a little bit of a back foot here.
I think that early game for LNG, definitely have to keep our eyes on mid or Nya, see if he can turn any of this priority into you know, a WeiWei appearance, as Kara did lose a lot of health on that gank, but was able to preserve his flash. So this gank coming back won't be free. Is Nya going to try and fish with a scatter, but kind of pushing Kara to the wrong side. This is one where ideally you want to push Kara down to your jungler, but Kara hovering the side of Guwon's on.
I'm pretty sure he messed up the grab combo with the Scout of the Week, and now Shear's going to be in some trouble here. Poor Jace. He's going to flash, get a little bit of hammer slam action here. As Hoya's going to have to flash over the wall as well. Leaves the Maiden in tow, and Shear gets out with his life.
Well played. Flash for flash trade. I will say that's a trade up for Hoya. Because now if slow into a...
Oh, Blade Caller coming through again. Those feathers, you got to learn to not take them to the face. 1xN's going to burn that flash that he was not able to burn last time around. He will get out barely, but the heal was also burned. And both Photic and Fengyue have their flash still available.
And more importantly, drag and drop, too. WeiWei had that at half, so a lot of wasted time for the jungler as well. As... bot lost there for LNG tempo-wise. And NIP continue to feel pretty good in this game. I just kind of curious what happens with WeiWei now with 6. I think that pressuring mid and going from there, if Nya can move it all, would be a big win for LNG. But I also think that you kind of want to get involved bot. But as you just highlighted, Mazel, Photic and Fengyue have all their summoner spells available. So... any Panthal against a Xayah Rakan with double flash up, I feel like is kind of a waste. He's going to have to look at the solo lanes, try and flip, but we expected going into this draft to be favored for NIP in both mid and top. Or in terms of HP. Yeah. Syndra does counter the Cassio, but that's a tough mid laner to get through if you're WeiWei.
And I know hindsight is always 20/20, as we do see the NIP Dragon go down, and we do have Grubs coming up in about 35, but when you're looking at this draft, you're like, this is working out exactly how they wanted to. They have a strong top side of the map. They have a safe bot lane, and now their bot lane's ahead. Now their mid lane's about to try to get ahead. Petrifying Gaze goes a little bit wide for Care there, as Hoya did move down. But this is just prime example of the exact conditions that NIP kind of want.
Hoya's training up nicely there to walk for maybe a Knight in Shining Armor in the mid lane. You know, a nice block from him. Doesn't lose too much for that. Yeah, does get a lot for Care in that mid lane, as did get Care a very positive reset for himself. Will be coming back with that TP available, as Guwon getting a camp away from WeiWei.
He's going to steal it away. There's a smite available for both sides. Okay, WeiWei will come in, assert dominance, say, that's mine. Does not look like Guwon wants to walk away. It's like there's a little bit of a piece of meat, and there's some ravenous hounds waiting to get at it. Well, WeiWei going to call over his lanes.
He just saw Smite used, so he gets to smite this
There's no way. Yeah, and WeiWei still goes over the wall. He doesn't have any damage here with him. The Blade Caller is going to come through, but they don't want to press any further. 1xN was on his way. Care was collapsing, but a beautifully team-executed moment from NIP.
No flash.
And now Sheer takes a fight here on the top side. Hoya is going to get burned down by the tower there, and Sheer will get out.
Actually like that look a lot from Guwon. Kind of caught back up in XP. Just challenging those two camps, and the fact that Smite was using the Gromp, sticking around, knowing how to ult for the blue big as ult comes in top.
Grand Starfall being used for the first time. Then go for the flash combo, and Sheer goes through with the Skyward Hammer, and they're going to get the kill. WeiWei picking it up. First kill of 2026 for the legendary jungler.
Nice pick up by him. Again, the flash for flash trade, I feel like that's a trade up for Hoya in isolation, but of course Pantheon can cheat tempo with that ult. Really well played. Does get the kill top. However, with that burn and Sheer needing to base, it means that the neutral objective goes over for free to NIP, as Guwon's going to pick up all three.
They're just sneaking up all these objectives here, Cubby. It's going to start feeling really good in the long term for them as well, because when we start looking at that long term, there's some serious scaling options on NIP's side of things.
We'll say Yorick with Grubs, Yorick a champion that does really need to throw his weight around to the side lane. having those grubs to soak up more gold in those moments, definitely going to be valuable for Hoya too. So decent play from Sheer and WeiWei. I mean, that is a plus for Sheer, but we'll see if Sheer can do anything with it. Because he kind of has to keep Hoya down now, because if Hoya gets any free time, he's going to be a happy camper with those grubs in his back pocket.
Okay, we're trying to push on to Nya a little bit. Nya's gotten some of his shards going for himself as well. Let's see, once those big spikes start coming through, obviously a little while till those actually come through. We see a lot of movement from LNG back down towards this bot side. They really want to clear out some of this vision, as you see some really deep vision placed by NIP. Photic was taking it back and go ahead with the exhaust, and here comes the grand entrance combo, and beautifully done from this new duo in the bot lane for NIP. Photic getting some reinforcements with Fengyue now.
Dropped the E on Photic after the ult, so the quickness, the charm connected. That means a free grand entrance afterwards as they get 1xN before his flash comes back up. Speaking of flashes, Sheer has to get out of Hoya and the cage there. That was dropped, so things continue to come up NIP's way. And again, draft-wise, really feel like LNG has to play around scatter. And a part of that element was the fact that these really beefy solo laners for NIP, we were hoping to see them set behind a bit. WeiWei was able to successfully set behind top, but that hasn't deterred Hoya enough. And Care is up a CS against Syndra in this matchup, which is not how things should be going, especially as WeiWei is given more attention mid. So I think NIP very far ahead of the game state right now.
Yeah, and Photic's up 1,000 gold over 1xN. I don't think 1xN's ever going to be able to take a fight, because as soon as you step forward on the Lucian, you're right in Blade Caller range, and you are just going to get eviscerated. And that's just going to continuously happen. They might even try to go for a little bit of a dive play here. They're playing a little bit close to the edge, as Grand Starfall is coming up in 5 seconds. WeiWei can try to make a tempo play at some point here in the foreseeable future. We have about 25 seconds for the next dragon.
Feels like with this Xayah Rakan base, if Dragon isn't taken immediately, yeah, probably has to be given. WeiWei looks like he's given that. And does have another Grand Starfall available, so Hoya has flash up. Sheer does not, but might be the look. As Xayah Rakan did base first, and Guwon's wrapping up his Krug, so I fully expect this Dragon to be taken here, uncontested for NIP.
Yeah, you got the Yuntals already completed for Photic. My God, that's going to be terrible. We were questioning a little bit on the Xayah. I personally was as well. We haven't seen it obviously super consistently throughout this year, but it is serving a purpose in safety, but also hyper carry potential, and now Photic's got his way set.
Yeah, I'd like the focus from NIP this game too. I mean, we said we were questioning the Xayah because it's difficult to play into Syndra. Jace can poke it, and Lucian Millie can poke it too, but this lane needed jungle intervention to go the way of NIP. Guwon got heavily involved in the bot lane. It's Photic.
Okay, Photic has to burn the Feather Storm. Doesn't have another Blade Caller. Guwon's here. Grand Starfall used, but the Blade Caller comes through at the perfect time. WeiWei will be stopped in his tracks. They tried to punish Photic playing a little bit close to the sun, but he will go unpunished for now.
Oh, I mean, Photic... Guwon really put time down there to enable him to get a lead, and WeiWei wasn't able to punish Guwon enough. And I really feel like between that and WeiWei getting pushed off that first dragon, like that first dragon attempt by WeiWei where he was pushed off, that was kind of the tempo that he was using from Guwon's bot lane visits to get something, was denied.
They barely saw Sheer there. He barely was seen through the vision there and just gets instant hounds pursued. And that's Guwon able to help get his top laner even further ahead, or at least try to get him a lead. They've moved Photic up here as well to try to take this turret. They should be able to with the grub.
They can TP bot, soak everything up. They have the Lucian Milio mid, where Cassio has the wave pushed in. Just a really rough sequence and kind of a disastrous scenario for the projected bottom team of Group Nirvana, going up against the team that we were most surprised to see get put in Group Nirvana from last split, Mazel. As I know it's a little bit of a different look here for NIP, a look that could be changing next week as well. But a good outing for them here to debut in Group Nirvana, which, as you highlighted coming in, every game matters a lot in this group. With 4 teams in a double round robin, 6 chances to try and not be bottom 2.
Yeah, you're literally playing like almost a third of the games that you would be playing if you were in Group Ascend, and I know that's going to be sitting large for both of these two teams. LNG so close to promoting at least, and NIP so close to staying in it. And here they are against IG and WeiWei in the group, and NIP showing up here big. Photic trying to find those hyper carry moments, trying to find those picks on a 1xN consistently. But it has been really good map play, I feel like, from NIP as a whole. Really good rotations, and now they're going to continue looking for neutral objectives.
This is a game, Mazel, where I feel like NIP just has had a better understanding of their win cons. And again, I feel like the moment that WeiWei was trying to cash in that jungle tempo was to take that first dragon early, and ended up being pushed off by the lead that NIP had in bot lane and Guwon. And so all of his tempo was kind of lost. The second ultimate going to the wayside too really hurt LNG, because WeiWei has to make those tempo plays in the side lane, has to utilize those ults positively. So feels like 2 out of the 3 opportunities where WeiWei had the ability to be up tempo and make a play ended up not working out, thanks to him being pushed off of Dragon and that ult not being good enough in the bot lane. So it ends up being a very NIP favored game.
I think one of the saddest things is, like, I hate to harp on it, and I don't want to, like, point any fingers. Obviously, yeah, it's the first series, but you don't get many series. That's the problem. Is like, so when you bring in a guy like WeiWei, you want him to have instant aspects to the team and being able to find those big avenues. Speaking of, 1xN almost kills Photic, but there is that safety net that they drafted the Xayah for.
But there's that. I kind of agree with where you were heading, Mazel. But also, I do not love this draft from LNG. I don't think Jace is the pairing you want with Lucian Milio off the rip. And I don't love the fact...
Jace early was kind of bold. First pick Jace? Crazy.
Yeah. Jace stats are very inflated by the 2 top teams in Korea having unbelievable Jace players. And I think the record on Jace between Genji and... Is it T? I think it's like 23-1. Just something really stupid with what they can do with Jace. But... yeah, outside of that, I want to say Major 4 regions, he's sub like 45% win rate, around there, even with that aberration between those 2 teams. So I have a lot of thoughts on Jace just based on that. I think that he's a little bit too difficult to execute for a lot of teams. And again, Lucian Milio just not the right pairing with this champion. Like, yeah, you can set up for a lot of poke, but where's the utility? And that's where I think that the Panth jungle and the Syndra mid, I like the Syndra of this game, I do, but it just doesn't bring enough. With the pressure that Jace is going to face in the side lane against a York and a Fury, that puts a lot of pressure onto Sheer. And we have seen Sheer, I feel like, try his best, but it's really tough to have an impact on the game as Jace when you're going up against a duo that can so easily pressure and get on top of you.
And this, again, continuation of beautiful macro. They literally moved bodies down bot lane. They were able to get an outer turret. They just used the Rift Herald in mid. There's a dragon coming up, so it guaranteed prio for them coming into the river. They now, LNG, are going to try to move in as a 5-stack to try to deny NIP their 3rd dragon.
I said, I mean, NIP, they might be okay letting this go, given they have a 3-grub maiden-empowered Yorick about to get some delicious plates on the top side. Yeah, they don't even have to TP Hoya down. They are going to TP him down.
Interesting.
As this is.
Oh, he's going to go right to the team. The great entrance over top. The scatter of the week goes really hard now. WeiWei goes into the backline, but he has nobody with him. WeiWei just solo dolo going down. 5 members strong of NIP.
And that top lane roll quest shield really, I think, got Hoya out of there. As he TP'd into 5, brought the maiden with him, and brings no one to the grave with him outside of WeiWei. As WeiWei goes in, tries to stop it, not able to. 3.5k gold lead and 3 Drakes in favor of NIP, and no signs of slowing down anytime soon, Mazel.
There were some red bars at the bottom down there. Now there's not. They're all blue. And this play from Hoya, big stuff from him, and a really good capitalization from Fengyue.
I mean, honestly, not much to talk about here. That wall from Hoya, it just split all of LNG. And yeah, I mean, the first scatter that dropped bought some space, but they don't have the damage able to get through the beefier solo lanes that NIP have taken between the York and the Cassio. So I think honorable attempts from LNG, but yeah, the good TP from Hoya, and the stronger team ends up winning.
Is this thinking about it too much? I definitely am. I'm kind of making a little bit of light of this situation, but you got Guwon, the upstart new jungler with the fast hands and the Nefiri, and he's always everywhere and he's always there. You got WeiWei with like the late ult in bot lane, not able to get to objectives, not able to find map presence. Is this the sign of the times here, Cubby?
I think it's a sign of a better game plan from NIP.
Ooh, point blank petrifying gaze. Care should be able to get out with the flash here, as he'll wait until they move over and he'll burn it.
Good one, actually. Started off Baron during that.
They must know now.
Hoya walked over a ward.
Yeah.
I don't think that ward saw Hoya drop the E. It did see Hoya drop that ward. See if WeiWei and the rest of LNG are up to it.
All right, WeiWei, first series back here in 2026. Might fight potentially. Going for the fight, though, into Hoya. Hoya, oh my god, the three-man charm with the quickness. And now Nya gets completely caught out by Guwon. Guwon just takes him down with the help of Care, and NIP are off to the races. Photic wants to go hard and wants to go ham as he finds the big kill with the Featherstorm Blade Collar combo.
Man, Photic and Fengyue stepping up big, as of course Photic not with his usual duo in Zhuo, who swapped places with Fengyue with NIP and Top Esports, but Fengyue having a fantastic debut here in Group Nirvana with his new team, as it really feels like every play has been made off the back of Guwon, but also Fengyue leading the charge, as this jungle support duo has been really on point pressuring LNG, as Fengyue makes an appearance mid while his teammates make sure the Baron goes in NIP's
dude. How about this bot lane though, man? Photic and Fengyue, incredible combos here.
A good super mega fire kick there from YCX to make sure the grand entrance didn't connect. However, the engage was still too good. I really liked what we've seen from Hoya, by the way, on this Yorick. I think that some of his W placements have been in chokes of terrain, which empowers the terrain you're dropping even more, and has really pressured LNG with some of these fights, especially the Jace and Syndra, who are somewhat immobile. So nice showing here from Hoya on the Yorick, and what could be his one and only outing here with NIP based on what we've been seeing and hearing. But a positive at that.
Yeah, it is indeed, as NIP going to continue leaping the positives on top of each other. It's going to be a side lane tier 2 turret going down. They've got about a minute and a half for an Infernal Dragon Soul. Honestly, I think it's open season on LNG in the chillin'.
So, I double-checked myself on my J stats, by the way, as I think we have a reprieve in pushing. Jace currently sitting at a 43% win rate in the major regions. And there are 25 games between Zeus and Doran who have only lost 25. It's pretty good.
Just going straight into the meat grinder there. As it's Sheer going for the solo play there. He was able to get a little bit of damage, was able to take down Photic, but the rest of his team are sending up the white flag.
But yeah, when that's your win rate, and by the way, Jace has a negative win rate in LCK, in spite of 2 players being a combined 24-1 on him. I really feel like taking him first pick in Group Nirvana. I mean, imagine if NA fans saw a team first pick Jace and what their response would be.
Yeah.
Would not be great.
That's about what we're getting right now as well. But hey, we're gonna keeping praise on NIP though with some of the individual performances we talked about from the beginning. We were wondering what WeiWei was gonna look like. Guwon has been understandably one of the stronger pieces of NIP and really the guy that kind of leads the tempo of the team. And he took that tempo and ran with it, just like Nefiri's running away with this game.
I will say that the only positive win rate Jace has in a region is LCS. And Berserker's Jace was pretty nasty today. But still feel like NA teams, if you're losing in your first pick Jace, I mean, that's been a meme for centuries.
True.
That meme predates League Classic almost.
We'll see if they want to do a little bit of a final push here. We got 10 seconds on the Baron still available. Obviously, they have the Infernal Soul now, so they can kind of do what they want, try to find a way to end the game. Ya's trying to get as much stacks in the side lane as he can, try to get as much gold as he can with the bounties, and taking down the outer turret, but they are losing their base incrementally. Oh, they decide it's time. Okay.
Time for a second inhibitor.
Just pulling off the inhib. It's fine. And 5 strong with the Maiden making it 6 in the mid lane for NIP. Some of those folks from Sheer starting to hit home.
Very nice of you, Mazel.
TP wards, but not going to pull the trigger on those.
Very nice of you to make sure the Maiden's their own Rift character.
Yeah.
I like to say 5.5. I think that's a lot more inclusive of you, though, that I appreciate.
Yeah. We try to be inclusive, you know?
We do try and be inclusive.
It's important.
So it's always good for all, you know? It's kind of the idea of inclusivity.
It is. That's great. It's crazy. It's like almost the definition. The definition of an almost over game, though, might just be 3 item spikes for the members of NIP. We talked about it earlier in the game, around 10 minutes, but the scaling for NIP just gets inevitable, it feels like, and they are starting to really come online here. I mean, you've almost got, 3.5 items for Guwon, 3 items for Photic, 3 items for Care now as well.
You know what's not inclusive, Mazel? Winning and losing.
True. It's also by definition not that.
Yeah. It's, so the NIP's only got a few steps away to win, as we are. I'm always trying to give Mazel a little bit of a hard time here.
Home arena
there's
buff?
not a lot of game to talk about. I'm sorry.
Is there a home arena buff? Was that the difference? Oh, WeiWei goes in. Scout of the week's pretty big, but 2 members get caught in the cage, and that will just be a sad day for LNG. The Chillins are getting locked up in NIP. They're just running around in their pajamas as they are looking to make a mark on this series and on this day, the final day of week number 1, and the final 2 teams to debut for Group Nirvana. NIP making quick work of LNG in this game number 1. 26.5 minutes in. They absolutely smashed this one. 1-0 lead in this best of 3.
I think the first pick, Chase, compared with Lucian Milio, kind of dug LNG into an early hole here, Mazel. And yeah, NIP, to be fair to them, this was a team that we felt like would be the least likely to lose their best of 5 in the split 2 playoff placements. That was a big surprise when they did drop. So for them to come into Group Nirvana, again, I think on paper, it's really fair for you to look at IG and Weibo and be like, these are the top 2 teams of Group Nirvana. Because the pedigree, NIP is not rocking world finalists. In fact, they're the only team in Group Nirvana that doesn't have a world finalist on it. So
I was going to go to that next, but you got me, bro.
I caught myself in transition. I can understand why people aren't putting a lot of points in NIP and are not giving them the opportunity to get out. But they were 5th in the regular season for LPL last split. And I really feel like that this team, when Guwon's playing well and when Guwon's making good early decisions, this was a team that was playing quite well. They lost I think their biggest carry in Awesome, and they might lose Hoya too, who has been a solid player for him, in spite of me saying that trading Bin for Hoya is like going from Shaq to Kwame Brown, which I will stand by. But Hoya's been decent this split. He really has, or this year, he really has for NIP. So I think that this is a team where I'm really hoping that they surprise fans, because I think that fans look at IG, they look at Weibo, they just assume that those are the 2 teams that will likely escape Group Nirvana. NIP, I think, has a real opportunity to be sneaky. And while beating LNG after a 1-game sample size doesn't seem like a very impressive feat, we'll see if that changes in the next game. It is a good start for NIP, as Guwon really put on a masterclass early, and Fengyue had some really nice engages to wrap things up.
Yeah, I got 2 parts to this next statement. Firstly, I want to talk about Guwon because this is his meta, it feels like. Ever since we really started trending into those aggressive carry junglers, where I feel like in Split 1, especially in Split 2, we were seeing kind of the duality there, but now it feels like in Split 3, it's if your jungler can't play these carry champions, then what are you doing here? We've got the Kianas, Nefiris being consistent, and I think that's perfect for Guwon. But why the hell did TS drop Fengyue, man? This guy's still got the moves. He's still got the angles. It's crazy that he's even in Group Nirvana still, and I'm glad to see him pop off in his game number 1.
Justice for young supports that are cited by their teams in the LPL.
Yep. Name a better duo.
I think I might be able to name more supports than BLG junglers in that category.
That's impressive. That's impressive.
It kind of is, if you think about it. But for Fengyue, again, this is a guy that was an LDL champion. I don't believe he was the LDL MVP. I believe that was to an IGN that we no longer feel comfortable speaking about.
Yep.
Yep. However, Fengyue Definitely someone that I think has a lot of upside in this league. I think going through some of the tape for MSI, it wasn't his best tournament.
It wasn't.
But he's a young player that's growing. Domestically, I think that he played well enough where Top Esports was a top 2 team. And the LPL last split, for him to come into Group Nirvana, he's got a lot to prove in the squad, and that was a nice opener for him with Photic.
He does indeed. And trying to make plays, just like Joel was trying to make plays on NIP. But we'll see now who ends up getting the MVP for this one. I gotta say, it's tough. I think Guwon led a lot of the charge in terms of map tempo and things, so I could see why he would get it. I just really like some of the plays from Fengyue.
I did too. I feel like it's I think I'm probably Guwon MVP camp, but if it goes to Fengyue, I would not be against it. Yeah, I really feel like Guwon, again, that the early looks that he had, you got to break that Lucian Milio if you're the jungler. And for him to 3-camp, go bot, not lose to WeiWei given his opener, really set NIP up for success. And he cashed it in. It really felt like he won both side lanes for his team.
And it was against WeiWei. I know, there's always the question mark of why bring WeiWei back in, things like that. But it's nice to see Guwon kind of stamp his foot in the ground and say, welcome back, Unk. But I got you here. Welcome to Nefiri. I really hope we get to see a WeiWei bounce back in game number 2. Give him something he feels a little bit more comfortable on potentially, or at least a little bit more oriented to the way the team wants to play. Any final thoughts? As it was 7 out of 8. The observers said it was Fengyue. Shout out to you, observers. Final thoughts on this first game?
Yeah, Doran and Zeus are 24-1 on Jace in the LCK, and it's still a sub 50% win rate in that region.
I'm gonna mute you if you keep talking about LCK. I'm gonna mute you.
It's not a positive win rate in any region but LCS, so maybe we need to kill the NA Jace memes,
True.
Maybe.
Just Jace in general. That's what we need to kill. Anyways, that's it for game number 1. If you'd like to support the LPL English product, though, consider becoming a Coffee member, as Coffee is the best way to directly support the LPL English project, as a vast majority of those payments go to direct contributions to the broadcast, either being it to pay the volunteer talent that is on here every single day besides 2 days every week, and to all the behind-the-scenes people with mods, socials. We have even graphics being made, everything along those lines. So please go check out our Coffee.
Yeah, I think the graphics and the pre-show, if you guys are around and catch the pre-show, shout out to you, because that's the most heavy lifting we really put in as a crew. And that's where our graphics really excel. We had a great team behind us with that. Very unique compared to other co-streams we have, is we got a crew that puts a little bit of extra effort, love, and care into the product daily as we try and make this the closest broadcast experience that you guys can get at home. So always fun to be a part of it, Mazel, and excited to hop into game 2 and a potential game 3 tonight.
Should be a lot of fun. We'll see you for game 2 of LNG and NIP.